What's up guys, Belamy Prime here, and today's video is going to be quite an important one for those of you starting out or returning to ArcheAge who are going to be going through your questing grind and aren't quite sure what you should be doing once you hit level 50. So we're not going to be talking about basically the first 45 levels or how you should be going through those, but basically we want to talk about what you should be doing leading up to level 50 to make sure that once you hit level 50 you're going to be ready to jump straight into the end game and start grinding your final set of gear or your competitive set of gear for PvP or PvE, whatever it is you want to do. So we're going to be going through, I got a character here that's level 49, and we're going to be going through the Hostler zone on the Hiram continent and the Carcass Ridgelands zones from the New continent, which will be the last two questing zones that you go through. And there are a small number of quests in these zones that you'll come across while pushing through them that will give you your final set of gear. So this is basically going to result in a 7 out of 7 armor set, whether it's cloth, leather, or plate, and then 2 weapons. So, a bow, or a shield, or a sword, or an adachi, or a staff, depending on what you're playing and what you need. So by the end of this video, we should have a good understanding of where to get your final quest gear and what you should transition into doing once you hit level 50 to propel yourself into the end game as smoothly as possible. So we're going to jump right in. Alright, so once you hit about level 46 to 47 there somewhere, you'll notice that I'm level 49. Don't take too much into that. That's just I'm over leveled for this. But once you hit about that level, you'll find yourself in the Hostler zone on the Hiram continent. I don't advise that you go through and skip any quests and just go straight to the ones that I'm showing you today, but what you want to be doing is going through your quests and just making sure that when you get to these areas where you see where I am, that you are certain to grab the quests that I'm picking up, because these are going to be the specific quests and the NPCs that give them to you that will give you your final quest gear. So you can see here, I will be picking up my first 3-piece set of my leather gear. That little box there, you'll be familiar with that. That'll give you 3 pieces of leather armor, whether it's the uppers or the lowers. And we're going to go through here and we're going to have to kill some deer for this quest. We'll go do that real quick and then we'll come back and we'll turn that in. We'll get our 3 pieces of leather and then we'll move on to the next quest. So while I'm speeding through doing all of this kill quest, killing the deers for the quest, I will admit to you guys that I did bring along my melee for this video just so I could kill everything a lot faster. Mainly just to save time for myself. I did make sure that it was easy for me to solo kill all of the quests and things that I'll be showing in today's video. And I knew they would be easy to do, but I basically power leveled this character to this point so that I could make this video. So the character itself didn't actually have this standard gear that you will have at about level 47, 48 there. It actually just had quest gear from about level 30. So at this point, before I actually started getting the leather pieces and things like that, the character was actually super weak, and I wasn't sure if I would be able to kill the mobs on my own. So just for insurance sake, I brought along my melee in case I needed it. I didn't need it. I could have killed everything, but it was quite slow because my damage was really low. So I basically just brought along my melee, switched to that screen, and just ran through and plowed through everything to make it a bit quicker for me. But for you, whether you're going through solo or with a group of friends or whatever, these quests will be extremely easy. They might take a little bit of time, like you obviously won't push through them as quick as I do because I'm killing stuff on a very over-leveled and over-geared melee account, but everything is super easy. I just want you to understand that. So don't worry about struggling with any of these quests. They'll be super easy, and I'll make sure to show that everything can be killed, even with an under-geared archer like the one I'm playing here. So once you've done this quest, you're going to be able to pick your first few pieces of armor. Depending on what class you're playing, you're going to be picking different armor. If you're a healer or a mage, you want to be picking the cloth set. If you're an archer, pick the leather set. If you're a melee, you have 2 options. Pick the leather set for a bit of extra DPS or the plate set for a bit more tankiness. And if you're a tank, obviously pick the plate set. But we're an archer, so we're going to be taking the leather set for our reward for this quest. You will then open the box to get the first 3 pieces of the Buried Legends leather set, which can be unsealed at one of 3 grades. They can be arcane, heroic, or unique. To be honest, the grade of it really doesn't matter. This is basically going to be a super temporary armor set for you to use just to push through the last few quests and begin to get your endgame gear. So don't worry about too much about what grade you get. It's just fun to unseal them and see what kind of grades you get. So we're going to move on to the first weapon quest that we'll be doing in this little guide series. This guy gives you an option between a bow, a shield, a lute, which is an instrument, and a great club. So this is 3 weapon options for 3 of the classes that you have available to you. So obviously if you're an archer, you'll pick up the bow. If you're a tank, you will pick up the shield. I don't see any reasonable scenario why anyone would take the lute, but if for some reason you don't need any of those weapons, take the instrument. And if you're a healer, take the great club. I will point out that if you're a healer and you've been unsealing like the random quest drops you get from mobs and you already have a one-handed club and you're not using a great club, you can take the shield here and run a club and shield, which is perfectly fine. So we're going to skip through this quest. It's much the same as the one before. You just go through, kill the mobs, grab their loot, and go back to town and turn into the NPC. So we're here, we're back in town, we finished the quest. We're going to go turn into the NPC, and because we're an archer, we're going to grab the bow. I'll also point out that if you're a melee, obviously none of these options are really suitable to you unless you're going to take a shield and play with a sword shield, but for the most part, you'll be two-hander while questing, so just take the bow as a stat stick, which is fine. So shortly after this, you'll be able to find the second set of weapon rewards from your quests here. As you can see from the map, it's in the Hostler zone, and we're going to talk to this NPC here specifically. He's going to offer us a sword, Onodachi, and a staff, which is basically covers the rest of the DPS classes. I will point out that this NPC specifically, if you get to this area and he doesn't offer you the quest straight away, and you're like, okay, there's no quest marker above his head, it's because you have to complete a couple of the quests in the area to unlock it. So just take the quests from the NPCs around him, go and complete them. Once you come back and turn those in, you should see the quest above his head and you should be able to grab it. I also will point out that all of these quests that I'm going through here are locked behind levels. I'm not specifically sure what levels each of them are, but you won't be able to pick them up unless you're at the appropriate level. So if you were, say, like level 44 or 43, going to these quests, specifically the ones in the Carcass Ridgelands that we'll get to shortly, the NPCs won't actually offer you these quests until you're those levels, so that you can't just, you know, rush to this, pick up good weapons, and then go back and finish your quest to get to level 50. So don't go ahead skipping any quests and just trying to push straight to these ones directly. Go through your natural quest chain. Everything will eventually lead you to the quests I'm showing you. This is just to make sure that you don't miss them when you get to them, so that you get your rewards and you push through everything at a good pace. So don't try and skip anything. It'll only get you lost and confused. Just make sure that when you get to these areas that I'm showing you, that you know where the quest is going to be and you're ready to pick it up when it shows itself to you. So after you've completed the quest, you can go and turn in. As an archer, we're going to grab the sword just because we'll be running a dual wield, so for the extra attack speed, and the weapons itself doesn't really matter. We just want the dual wield buff for the extra attack speed. If you're a melee, you have 2 options. You can grab the sword and do a dual wield setup with, say, like shadow weapons or whatever you find just from mob drops and stuff like that to use as an offhand or your other main hand. But I would recommend the Nodachi. Just having a two-hander is just stronger, especially while leveling, so I highly recommend that. And if you're a mage, obviously you want to take the staff. And, you know, if you're a healer, there's nothing really to benefit from these weapons at all. You just can either ignore the quest or just do it for the XP. So after we've finished the last weapon quest that we just showed, you'll have to complete the remainder of the quests in the Hostler zone. By the end of the quest line in Hostler, you should find yourself in the Vero City, I believe it's called. At the top of the city, you'll complete a quest that will prompt you to go through another world gate, which I'm sure you've done many times up until this point, which will take you over to the New continent to Carcass Ridgelands, which is the zone you see on screen right now. So once you get there, you'll pop out close to where I have here. You can see the world gate in the background there. And you'll have to complete a number of quests before you get up to the part where we're about to show, but I recommend not skipping any quests at all. Just follow the natural quest line until you find yourself in the town that we are here. So once you get to this town, there will be a number of quests available to you. You'll have to complete a bunch of them in that town before you get the last, or the second to last, armor quest reward offered to you from this NPC here. You'll have to complete a couple in the area to unlock it. So go ahead and do those, and eventually this guy will offer you the quest that you're looking for. So instead of completing this quest off screen, I thought I'd show myself killing this little mini boss here. and explain to you guys another reason why you shouldn't be skipping any quests while you're leveling. Because when it comes down to it, you will have to complete quests that require you to kill certain mini-bosses and things like that. And the last two quests in this zone for your last few pieces of gear will require you to both kill little mini-bosses. So if you're under-leveled and under-geared when you get to this point, you're going to have a tough time, especially if you're leveling solo. So the bigger the edge you can give yourself, the better off you'll be. But once you've completed the quest, you can come back to town, turn it into the NPC, and get your next 3 pieces of armor, whether it's cloth, leather, or plate. For us, it will be leather, so we'll open that, unseal them, and throw them on. Give us a nice little boost, and then we're going to be moving on to the final quest for today. So once you follow your quest line, you will find yourself in this part of Carcass Ridgelands, where you will find this sprucey little minotaur dude who will offer you the last piece of your quest gear, which will be your headpiece for your respective armor. So once again, this will require you to kill another mini-boss, so again, make sure you're not under-leveled. And once you complete this, you will get your final piece of armor, and you'll be ready to finish quests until you get to level 50, and then get into some endgame grinding. So by this point, you should be level 50, if not level 49 and getting close to level 50. But you have two options at this point. One is to go straight to Diamond Shores and begin farming Abyssal Legion mobs for your Hiram gear, which is going to be a huge power spike for every piece you get. I can discuss Hiram gear specifically more in a different video, but essentially it's the gear that you want to be farming immediately once you get to level 50 or 55, because it will end up being your final set of gear. If not, a lot of pieces of it will end up being a part of your final gear set. So option 1, level 50, go straight to Diamond Shores, begin farming Abyssal Legion mobs. We'll show them on screen. Once I got this character to level 50, I went straight over to Diamond Shores to make sure that it was easy to kill these mobs as a level 50 character with this gear. It was super easy, and that's as an archer, which is arguably the weakest at farming mobs and things like that while under geared and under leveled. So if you're an archer or a mage or a melee, you should have no problem killing these mobs as long as you're comboing correctly. And if you struggle, then you should have a bunch of free buffs and things like that in your inventory, which you can pop while farming. Option 2 is to advertise in your nation chat or have a friend who's more geared or higher level power level you from level 50 to 55 max. Now, it is very, very easy for a high level player to take you over to a zone called Aegis Island, where you party up with them and you basically just sit AFK for 10-15 minutes while they kill some mobs and you get a shitload of XP for it. Now, in most cases, you will more often than not find a player willing enough to do this for you, because it doesn't take long at all, and there are a lot of helpful players in this game, especially on NA. I'm not sure about EU or any other servers and things like that, but if you're on Aria East or West, I have characters on both, and I'm more than happy to help anyone who watches my videos and joins my Discord. So join my Discord if you need a power level from 50 to 55. It takes like 10-15 minutes, and I'm more than happy to do it if I can find the time to be online when you're online. If not, ask in your nation chat and maybe someone's willing to help you, and if not for free, maybe you can offer an Apex or some gold or something like that, and someone can come and level you. In the long run, it's going to save you a ton of time and a ton of effort, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to grind your Hiram. So option 2, head out to Aegis Island with a better geared person, have them kill some mobs for you for a little bit until you're level 55 at 100%. Once you've done this, then you can head over to Diamond Shores and start killing Abyssal Legion mobs for your Hiram drops. I recommend the latter. Option 2 is the better option. If you can get someone to power level you, you'll get, extra skill points every level from 50 to 55. You'll get more base stats, and you unlock the level 55 skills, so like things like God's Whip for mages, Snipe for archers, and behind enemy lines for melees and things like that. All very good skills, especially while farming. But once you reach this point, you're going to want to be farming your Hiram. You want to get your drops, you want to get your gear, you want to get the right rolls, the right stats for the class that you want to play. And I won't go into depth about Hiram in this video, because this is more of a what to do once you get to this level and how to get to this point. I would like to put out a video soon about Hiram gear and everything you need to know about it, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any follow-up questions or anything like that, feel free to join my Discord. Not only will I be able to answer questions there, but we have a lot of other helpful players there who are more than willing to answer questions and help new and returning players out. So join my Discord, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.